Warthog 1-1, inbound.
Welcome back to DCS and welcome back to the A-10C. Today we're looking at what you might refer to as a TACAN penetration and ILS approach at Khasab in Oman. Okay, the first thing I do is I put the sim into active pause so I have the time to set the aircraft up correctly. So adjusting lighting, including external lights, setting up TACAN to the Khasab channel, which is 8.4 X-ray, setting it to transmit receive, also setting the frequency of the ILS, not turning it on just yet. The volume control is supposedly you can change the volume on the right console. I cannot find the hotspot for that, so I set that on the left console, as you will see a little bit later. Setting the frequency for Khasab, as you can see, just adjusting the ILS frequency. And I'm also going to set the position page to repeat on the CDU. Setting a course of 190 for TACAN, also turning TACAN on. And what I'm doing here is flying a course of 122 so that we can intercept TACAN. Now I'm going to contact Khasab specifically to make sure that the runway lights are turned on. I'm not going to follow A-10C instructions, so I really want to concentrate on following TACAN. I'm not doing a textbook TACAN penetration in the same way that I did with Nellis because I don't have the charts for it. Unfortunately, we do not have charts for the Persian Gulf yet. Hopefully that will happen this year. Reporting inbound.
Inbound.
Hold 1-1. Fly heading 201-423. QFE 29.88. Runway 19.
So we're not going to fly pattern altitude. I do set the altimeter. I could actually have set the time a little bit earlier on this approach. It's extremely dark after a little while. So I'm descending to 2,000 feet AGL so that I can get onto the glide slope. If I was doing this textbook, I would be looking at the ground speed for the descent, but without the charts I'd be more comfortable doing it by the book if I had the charts, but again, we just don't have the relevant charts at this time. So one thing I would say in advance, the aircraft is asymmetrical, it has an asymmetrical load, and what that means in simple terms is that we have more stuff hanging off the left wing than the right wing, which cannot be trimmed out. I know that's the obvious thing to say, why don't you just trim that out? You cannot trim it out unless you're willing to do gamey things that I'm not willing to do. So if you got that left roll, you'll correct with right trim, but then you'll get a little bit of right roll, correct for that, you get left roll. So expect to see a little bit of rolling on approach. So now we're getting onto the TACAN course of 190. Now of course I could just fly towards the waypoint indication, but I don't want to do that. And of course there could be a reason that you don't get the waypoint indication, but at the very least we know that the TACAN course and the waypoint indication are pretty much the same. As you can see, visibility continuing to decrease. I should probably have turned the formation lights on a little later. I can't see the speed brakes when extending, so I have to guess a little bit, but I don't have an awful lot of experience at night in the A-10, so I'm not sure if the formation lights would properly illuminate the aircraft, but it's certainly worth a try. So descending to 2,000 feet. In a little while I will activate ILS and start following that down towards the runway. The approach turns into a visual approach as soon as I get to see the lights, and until then it's all on instruments. So continuing to get darker. I believe actually that ED are working on an improved lighting system, which it clearly needs. The new cockpit is very dark, much darker than it was before. I know a lot of people have commented on that. The first time I actually flew the A-10 after the update, I actually didn't think it was the A-10. It looks so different. But then I was also using a weathered cockpit mod. Okay, so we are below the glide slope, or out of range of the glide slope, I'm not sure which. So we've got the localizer, so we're getting onto that. And there you go, we have glide slope. So just referring down to that glide slope indication. Trying to be aware of when it starts to descend. Trying to maintain altitude. When it starts to descend, I'll extend the landing gear, flaps and speed brakes. Khasab is actually quite a short runway, so I'm trying to touch down as close to the numbers as possible. So just trying to keep on localizer, watching for the glide slope indication start to drop. And we'll then lower landing gear and flaps. And at that point we'll be looking to get on speed. So you cannot see the speed brakes at all. And as you can see from the angle of attack indexer, we're a little bit fast. That's perfectly fine at this distance. Descending to maintain glide slope. Just a fraction above it at the moment. So staying on glide slope and looking to get on speed. So we're getting close to it now as the speed bleeds off. Looking for the runway lights. And as soon as we have a good visual on the runway lights, it really becomes a visual approach. Just moving the attention back from the hood down to glide slope and localizer indications, as well as now really starting to concentrate on the runway itself. I'm going to centre on that. We've got a little bit of lateral movement, trying to stay on speed. Adjusting power to keep the velocity vector on the numbers. So a little bit of roll back and forth with that asymmetrical load. Also there's a slight crosswind. Just trying to concentrate on keeping it centered.
Hold 1-1. Check landing gear. Wind 068 at 2 meters per second. Runway 19.
Altitude, altitude.
Trying to maintain center line as much as possible. You can see it really open up now. On speed. Quite a long displaced threshold. And so here we are, ready to touch down at Khasab. Hope you enjoyed that, and as always, feel free to like, comment and subscribe.